morning and welcome to Ark and Dove Presbyterian Church in Odenton, Maryland. I'm Brian Boudreau, the clerk of session here at Ark and Dove, and your host in the lobby, the weekly program of the life and ministry of the church. Now, this Sunday is the celebration of the baptism of the Lord, and in a little bit, I'll be talking to Pastor John about his year in review and what 2022 looks like for him. Now, because of the rising COVID infection numbers, Ark and Dove is only offering a 10:30 live stream service. We are not having any in-person services, at least through the end of the month. And we will continue this and we'll let you know when we're ready to welcome folks back into the sanctuary. Now, as always, you can watch the service live anytime or anytime at your convenience on Ark and Dove's YouTube channel and via Facebook Live. So additionally, Sunday school and godly play for the moment will not take place during the 10:30 service. And if there are any changes to a virtual offering, we will let you know that as soon as possible. So Logos will begin again on January 11th. That's this Tuesday, but it will be virtual. So it's just a reminder that Logos is every Tuesday from 6 to 7 p.m. It's for kids pre-K through 5th grade. If you're not on the Logos email list, please contact Amy Goldberg. Now, due to the weather, youth group for middle school and high school will meet via Zoom tonight. So middle school is at 4 p.m. and high school will be at 5 p.m. So if you're interested, but you're not already on the email list, you can contact Pastor John. Now, even though we have moved everything virtual, that does not mean Ark and Dove has stopped. We still have a full slate of activities. And just this week, here are some things that you should know about. Are you aware of the midweek Bible study led by Pastor John? That's every Wednesday at 10 a.m. You can contact Pastor John for a Zoom link. Pastor Tim, Kathy Davis, and Lenny Gerdner will be co-facilitating the next Healing Through Grief group on Wednesday, January 12th at 7:30 p.m. and that's via Zoom. So Healing Through Grief is a small group and it's open to anybody attending Ark and Dove, as well as family members, friends, and neighbors who have experienced the death of a loved one, and that could be recent or a long time ago. So if you have any questions or to get the Zoom invitation, please contact either Pastor Tim or Lenny Gerdner. The Friendly Seniors Afternoon Tea will be held via Zoom on Thursday, January 13th at 3 p.m. and a link will be sent to the Friendly Seniors email within 48 hours of the meeting. So if you are not on the list and you would wish to attend, please contact Joan Berry to get on the list. The Ark and Dove Book Club selection for January is Called Out: Why I Traded 2 Jobs for a Life of True Calling by Paula Ferris. Amanda Cross will be facilitating this discussion, and that will be on January 14th at 7:30. So please email Kim Champagne for more information about the club, including the Zoom invitation. Also this week, Pastor Tim and Paula Sparks will be starting an Epiphany book study, and it'll go for several weeks. I think we've got 6 weeks of this. They will be talking about Nice Racism by Robin DiAngelo. So that will be Tuesday evenings at 7 p.m. Starting this Tuesday. If you need the Zoom invitation, please reach out to either Pastor Tim or Paula Sparks. The Anti-Racism and Social Equity team will start a 12-week examination of David Camp's The White Ally Toolkit study. So this class will be led by Lori Cronser with assistance from Jen Roman and Shirley Fuller. The class is limited to the first 6 participants, so register now. Workbooks will be provided, and they will be meeting weekly on Thursdays from 7:30 to 9 from January 20th through March 24th. So contact Deb Saylor or Paula Sparks to register. A little further out, the annual congregational meeting will take place on Sunday evening, January 30th at 7 p.m. This will be a hybrid meeting taking place in the sanctuary and on Zoom at the same time. I say that right now, that's the plan, but we will let you know a little bit closer to the date if we're going to do that entirely via Zoom. Nevertheless, save the date, save the time, and in fact, there'll be a fun trivia activity after the annual meeting. So you'll want to be part of that. So last week on the lobby, I spoke to Pastor Tim, and this week, now I've asked Pastor John to join me. So welcome, Pastor John, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, Brian. Good to see you.
So last week we talked about sort of the year in review and kind of looking forward. I wanted to do the same with you and just kind of get your impressions on what you thought of 2021.
What did I think of 2021? Yeah, I think that for the church, there was a lot of great ministry. I mean, when I kind of think back, I think of all the new stuff that we did. I mean, we had outdoor worship with regularity, and we tried new things and always shifted around chairs and parts of the parking lot and a field, and then even adult ed. We had a great little series that I think you concocted, the Mythbusters, which was supremely fun for all of us that were involved. An influx of new members was a pure joy. And then coming back in the fall with full youth groups and a new confirmation class was really great. There's lots of energy, several new leaders. There's what we've always done really well, which is provide great music and thoughtful Christian ed experiences. And one of the things, the highlights for me, especially in with regards to Christian ed, was just the way that Logos was done last year in the fall. It was with such creativity. I mean, we basically said, all right, these are the risks. Did one of those risk assessments, and this is our possibility. And we came up with a program, and Jan and Julie and all the other leaders of Logos just ran with a program that's been stocked. There's so many kids coming to Logos and doing some really great worship arts. And Trish Gray, my gosh, has just like sort of an endless resource of great crafts and ways for children to engage theological concepts with their hands. And then we had a pageant.
Right, which was phenomenal.
Which was absolutely phenomenal, right? Yeah, and even having some of our newer children be involved in that, it was really uplifting, especially because many of us hadn't seen or been in the sanctuary with a bunch of kids leading worship. That was some healing stuff, I think, and some joyous way to bring in Christmas.
I'm not gonna lie, every time those kids get up there and they sing a song, it brings a tear to my eye. It could be the happiest song.
Yeah.
I love seeing the children in the sanctuary. Now, of course, things very rapidly changed. And if 2021 could be characterized as anything, it's evolution. And we evolved and changed for that. But now here we are, 2022. What does 2022 look like?
2022 is, a lot of people talk about what's the joke? This is 2020 part 2. And I think some of us feel that for sure, that remembering March 2020 when things were closing down and when we did all live stream, as distressing and worrisome as that was, there was like such a pivot and for the church to kind of think through, all right, this is the problem and here's the opportunity. And to see so many ways where people just stepped up to provide good worship, good Christian ed, good fellowship, good pastoral care throughout the challenges that COVID brought. And, here we are with a little bit more tools for us. We have good masks and we have vaccinations and boosters. And some understanding of how this virus works in order to protect us. We're back, at least for now, with live stream only, and for our programming, our ministries online. And I think for me right now is to not just do as we've always done, and just kind of go back into that, because what we don't have right now maybe is that novelty of this whole thing. The problem is that we've done this before, it's happening again.
People have, like you said, that we've done this before, and I would imagine that some people have concerns that, okay, here we go again. And what advice do you have to offer them? Like, it looks bleak on one hand, but what do you see?
It's bleak on one hand. We do have some tools that do really help. I think the challenge for us, right, is to just not retreat. The great thing about Ark and Dove is that it didn't do that in 2020. So I don't expect that will be the case for what hopefully will be a very brief surge and closing down of some things like our in-person worship and in-person ministry experiences. And for even in this time to look at this problem, but also the opportunities that we have. Like, what can we still do new and different and try in this time to bring some life and bring the love of this congregation wherever it can be. And, this church has always done a good job at that. I'm not necessarily despairing that, this is going to just be a terrible experience for us. I think we'll be the church that we've always been. And I'm excited to see some of the new things that we could do.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we have done on the session over time is we kind of always planned for a moment like this, that at any moment, if we had to go to a virtual setting, that we could do that. And so we've put the infrastructure in place. We've got the better cameras, we've got the rooms that are equipped with the right sound, the sanctuary already for that sort of thing. We have the activities that we've worked on over the course of the year to know that, like, okay, this is what we do when we go into virtual. So I think that offers a bit of hope for the church, because we have everything in place to do this for a short time. We hope it's a short time.
I mentioned this in my archive letter, but there's something about like problems and suffering that tend to bring people together. And, I just saw this with the craziness of the Monday storm. Christina and I had only the day prior been sort of lamenting how we haven't seen and talked to at least one of our neighbors. And then the next day, we're all out there and we're all shoveling this insanely heavy snow. And we see that neighbor and we get to hang out. And then all these other neighbors we're connecting with and helping, they're all helping each other out. We're all helping each other out. That is true of Ark and Dove, and it's always going to be true of good people when things like this happen. So that's always the hope when things like this happen, is that people are just going to show up. Always do, no matter what happens. Good people tend to show up.
That's right. Let me ask you some personal questions though, because we have Ark and Dove in 2021, but what about John Nelson in 2021? What when you look back on 2021, what's sort of the highlight for you?
I mean, the highlight is just having a 4 and a 2-year-old is just such a great thing, because they're just absolutely stoked on so many things, no matter what's happening in a global or national sense. 4-year-olds and 2-year-olds are just extremely excited about little things. It was such a highlight and continues to be such a highlight that they're just such incredible little energy balls, and always pointing towards joy. For us, Christina also pivoted with her piano lessons and was able to have a great experience with her students. It was a great year for me, and I started in the end of 2020 with a running coach. And then so 2021 was reaping the benefits of some of that work, and was just setting all kinds of personal records. So that was, looking back on the year for me, as far as like athleticism, was really cool to see, winning some races and getting fit. And that was a cool little personal thing for me to do, some long-term goals accomplished.
So then what about going out 2022? What are you looking forward to?
I'm a person that's sort of obsessed with change. Like I'm very uncomfortable with any sort of like stagnance or complacency. So what I'm looking forward to is just an ability to just continue to shift and change and do new things and try new things, become new things. My folks, they got us a year pass to all the Maryland parks, and so we're gonna try to hit all those as much as we can. I have this personal practice of trying to look at the day and say, well, what can I do better tomorrow or today that I didn't do yesterday? And so that's something that I always kind of look forward to, is the possibility and hope for change. That's a big part of what keeps me going.
Well, Pastor John, I want to thank you so much for coming on to the lobby and sharing with us, what last year looked like, what this year looks like, and it's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Yeah, and you. Thanks for continuing to do this, Brian and Ellen and Joe. You provide so much for us in this lobby.
Thank you. And thank you to everyone out there for tuning in each week. I really enjoy being able to come into your homes and share with you everything that we have going on at Ark and Dove. So more details about everything we talked about can be found in the weekly archive email that you get or on the webpage. So Happy New Year again. Stay safe. Get your booster if you're eligible for your booster, and have a great week. So the live stream service will begin in a moment.